Miyerkules na naman at hindi pa rin tumitigil ang aksyon dito sa ating 2025-26 Philippines Football League season, and meron tayong napakagandang laban sa ating harapan. This is Philippine Army FC going up against Don Bosco Garelli United's ascendancy. Philippine Army with the usual suspects in your starting 11. You have Jessica Belgira as well, John Celis. Prayers to the family of Ariola. Now we look into the side of Don Bosco Garelli amongst the mouth of the PFL fans on our live stream. Then you also have Solomon Okereke. Jesus Abogado calls us in, and we have kickoff. Thought about it, brings it down to Toledo. Still Palacio thinking about it, and I think I've heard Coach Jenner from the stands asking him to take that shot. But a counterattack for DB Garelli. Looks like Bacon with the pass to Okereke to open the scoring for DB Garelli United against Philippine Army.
Well, the goal-scoring run for Okereke continues, and the dances and the moves continue as well. 2 goals in his last game, and he gets another this afternoon. But that was great work from Bacon down the right-hand side. As a right back, timing his run to perfection. And I mentioned earlier, Philippine Army, they struggle with runs in behind this game. Slim lead for Don Bosco, so nothing about this game is conclusive just yet.
Chance here for a Barca on the right side. Cross for Okereke once again, and gets the brace against Philippine Army.
Well, it was almost a carbon copy and paste for Don Bosco. Once again, down the right-hand side, crossed, low cross into the penalty box, and Okereke taps it in to an open goal. If it works, don't change it up. And for the second time this afternoon, Don Bosco has gotten a goal, and they can relieve themselves of that pressure because they're starting to pick up some performances. Good confidence booster for your defense. Again, a new goalkeeper as well. Ishi started the last game. Oh,
looks like that clean sheet is in danger as handball has been called against Don Bosco. Here goes the penalty. Celis scores and reduces that deficit to 1. Finding that bottom right side, sending Riaso the wrong way. And Celis might have just injected a new life into Philippine Army. Just unable to connect.
yeah, and after he makes that misplaced pass, he's just stretching his hamstring, so watch out for that.
Desmond Ngay on the counter and a shot. Third goal in for Don Bosco Garelli, and the substitute, Desmond Ngay, gets into the scoring sheet for Don Bosco Garelli.
Great finish from the substitute. Puts it in to the back of the net. Actually took a deflection off the goalkeeper, but the power behind this low-driven shot.
19 minutes remaining here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. Later on at 7 p.m. we'll have Tigig FC defending their top spot. But before that, Desmond Ngay gets his brace and puts this game to bed for 4-1.
Excellent finish from the substitute. And, you know, I was saying Okereke and Crawford are the starting strike partnership. Desmond Ngay is now going to give his coaching staff a headache. So it's a real improvement on the way that they were scoring before last weekend, where they scored 4 against Mendiola.
Bacon on the right side gets the cross. Desmond Ngay gets his hat-trick. One on a lovely assist from McKevitt Bacon there.
Yeah, non-stop energy from McKevitt Bacon, and he gets another reward. His second assist this afternoon. This time it's to Desmond Ngay, who gets his hat-trick off the bench.
Of stoppage time here. 3 more minutes to add to their tally as Desmond Ngay going up. And tapping it past Bedia. That's a double brace from the substitute, Desmond Ngay. And it's 6-1 in favor of Don Bosco Garelli United.
Well, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but runs in behind, that's really what are able to undo Philippine Army. But look at this first touch from Desmond. And finally, they have more than one real source of goals, and they might get even more goals here.
Looking for that goal at the end of the game, and yes, it is! What a lovely shot from Melgaco. That's 7 goals to 1. But celebrations cut short as there might have been a commotion inside the box.
Came all the way from a goal kick, and Kai Kimura, excellent cutback. This is a very good finish to make it 7-1. Cherry on top. And you can see this is a team with quality players, with talented players. They just needed that confidence boost to bring it out of them. But now that it's showing, everyone can see that this is actually a serious team. They haven't been serious for most parts of the season, but they are serious now.
But for now, it's Philippine Army FC 1, Don Bosco Garelli United 7. We are PFL. Wednesday night main event is upon us, and we have a pivotal match that could shake things up in the title race. It's 1 Tigig FC going up against Stallion Laguna FC. No room for mistakes. How excited are you for this matchup, Diego?
So excited. I'm so excited for this one. You want to make a statement, you want to make a good start, and you want to, you know, stamp your control on the game very early on. Counter-attack, he's always ready.
Mark Hardman sending a ball forward for Agiemang. Alteguer with the through ball for Rachel. First real challenge for Yusuf Butt, and they call it a penalty. Rachel shapes up and hits the bottom frame of the goal and gets the first goal of the match for 1 Tigig FC. Clinical nonetheless for Patrick Reichelt.
Excellent penalty from Patrick Reichelt. Yusuf Butt guesses the right way, and he still doesn't save it. That's how you know it was perfectly placed from Patrick Reichelt.
His wards.
Yeah, when that penalty went in, the first thing Coach Ernie did was call everyone back to his side.
He's pleading his case. That's a double yellow, and he gets a red card. And he's calling off the boys of the field as well. The message is clear, Diego. Coach Ernie Nieras wants his boys to fight. Long ball forward looking for Belgira on the right. Placito to Galeana. Galeana on the turn through ball for Quichi Belgira, and that's been converted by Dorado. We are back on level terms, Diego, here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium.
And it's an excellent team goal from Stallion Laguna FC. They don't have an outright striker, but they combine so well in the final third. Galeana peeling off from his number 9 position.
With this corner, an outswinger once again. Looking for Baji. Almost an opportunity for Stallion. Now Steven Schrock moving forward. Gets past one. Patrick Ling is in the way. Still with Schrock. Gets past two. Pass to the middle for Aldeguer. Takes a shot. Oh! Deflected in for a goal. What a time to score that go-ahead goal for Andres Aldeguer and 1 Tigig FC.
Huge slice of luck in this one. It takes a nasty deflection that beats Yusuf, but they will take it though because they've been under so much pressure in this match. They'll take anything. Aldeguer hits it with a lot of power. It's Gaku who is the unlucky figure, but great work from Stefan Schrock. I wouldn't be surprised if the scoreline is still going to be changed.
For Galeana, but unable to connect. Agiemang, bodies flying everywhere. Moving forward is Agiemang.
Oh.
It's past Macmillan. Still with Agiemang here. Ken Pride with the coverage. Good through ball, but Reichelt is offside. Long ball forward looking for Galeana. Kopich.
Oh.
That sweeper keeper role is working well for Kopich as he clears the ball out. With the 1-2 pass for Isagaku.
Hello.
Galeana!
Kupic alert, awake, and he makes a really good save here.
And even the fourth official says get back up. Placito to the middle for Mokota with a shot. Isn't out wide the left post. Takes his time with the ball, dancing away from Belgira. Good pass to Reichel. Through to Haber. And that is it. One Tigig FC remains undefeated in 2026 and extends their lead at the top of the standings by 5 points after this 2-1 win over Stallion Laguna FC, Diego.
Championship favorites at the point. And yeah, what a position to be in for one Tigig. Another crucial 3 points against a huge rival, Stallion.
It's the Minsan Football Show, episode 19, this fine evening, of course, this April 23. A big thank you for joining us. As always, my Minsan Football Show tayo pag may game. Don't you forget. To the left of your screen, yours truly, Claro Manzano. And then if you go all the way to the right side of the screen, second face reveal. The man himself, PFL Bible. We've got Callum to join us, and center, we have Natasha, of course, and Diego. How is everyone doing? Let's start with Callum, since it is your first live appearance of sorts. But we're doing this via video call, but we get to chat in person. Last time you dropped a really good video that you sent in, but welcome to the show, and thank you for joining us.
No, I mean, thanks very much for having me. It's a chance to some analysis going with you guys. Obviously, watching the show every week, so just to be able to join and chip in where I can, I think.
Yeah, fantastic. You know, I missed out on the games this weekend, so I was in the comment section with you, with the whole community. And yeah, can't wait, of course. And Natasha, how are you, and how's everything been going?
It's been good. Just excited that we're closing in towards the end of the second and really onto the championship round, wherein you feel that every game, including the upcoming fixtures, is that every game is it's really that much of importance of how you finish.
Jago, you've been dissecting this league a lot, of course, as we know. And obviously, you don't have to say exciting, but something's cooking, right?
Yeah, I think you can feel it in all the games that the atmosphere is starting to get a little bit more. You can feel the stakes a little bit more because we've had, I think, 8 or 9 months of straight PFL. We're going down to the last month now. And this is where, we usually say as commentators or analysts or writers, we usually say that a league season is a marathon and not a sprint. But when it reaches this point, it becomes a flat out sprint between all the teams to get whatever their aspirations are. And to be completely honest, it's going to be very exciting because everyone's going to fight for the same prize, and it's such an exciting league.
Yeah, if this is a race, of course, it is entering the last few laps or so. That is why all teams have to go all out already, especially those who made it to the championship round, which was just confirmed, of course. We'll talk about that with the standings later on. But before anything else, we want to give a special thank you to our drinks partner, Thirst. Kick off savings this football season. Use the code PFL 2025 on the Thirst app for special discounts. And Thirst is the Philippines' only beverage marketplace. Download the Thirst app today wherever you get your apps. There you go. PFL 2025 is the code. And let's get to our previous match week's results. We were talking about this off air. Even with not just four of us, even with Direct Glenn, all the games were good this time around. Walang, oh man, it's this game, it's that game. Everything was keeping you on your toes because of those implications with the end season. It's not yet the championship round. Sorry, I used the word. Parang play-in na rin with the way things are developing. Don Bosco Garelli 3-1 over Tuloy. Big win here. Garelli actually leapfrogged Tuloy in the standings. You have to be concerned with Tuloy. Ang laki ng mga scorelines. 13-0, 12-0, you name them. Jago, you wanna break the ice here. This game, did you expect this result? But Tuloy, things aren't looking good for them.
Yeah, it's not been a very kind year to Tuloy since 2026 started.
Your football weekend is here without a doubt. We've got Don Bosco Garelli United and Philippine Army FC as we are coming to you from the historic Rizal Memorial Stadium in Manila. Glad that you could join us, of course, on this scorching afternoon. This is Clara Manzano alongside Jed Diamante. We'll be keeping you company for this curtain raiser right here. And we have a look at the weather conditions, of course, but you could say that the heat, Jed, is being amplified with us being in the heart of Manila.
Yeah, definitely, Clara. Kahit nga tayo outside of the field, we can definitely feel it, and I hope that this will not be, something that the players will be feeling or affect their performance.
And to be precise, when we talk about our squads right here, Philippine Army in the bottom of the table, but they still have a mathematical chance to play catch up and move up. And that is also the case for Garelli, but unfortunately, with Maharlika holding an unassailable lead in the classification round, these teams are set in the bottom half. But as we know, Jet, being competitors, you just want to grab the win every single time.
Yeah, first of all, you gotta fix the performance of the team, considering that you're in the bottom half of the table. It's not all about winning at this point. It's about how we can regroup or how we can improve the quality for games.
We are going to elaborate on that further with the classification round and championship round, respectively. As we are done and dusted with the standings, we will carry on, of course, to one of our protagonists for this day. And we've got Garelli, and they are coming off a victory, Jed, which you did get to cover, where they got to defeat Tuloy FC in convincing fashion. So, is this the moment for them to get a winning streak? Simple as this.
It's Don Bosco Garelli, ever since in the last 6 matches, they've had 3 wins. And you can see that their momentum is actually, moving forward, really going up. So in the last game, although Tuloy seemed that they were having the possession, Kai Kimura scored 3 goals within the last 6 minutes of the match. So, they will look forward to get the 3 points here and add to their tally.
Some much needed firepower for this team, and they've been able to get that, of course. They've done so well in the transfer window, and results have been able to speak wonders. There you go. Put a check mark with Garelli's recent performance, and here is the starting lineup of Coach Mike Daniel Reconalia, and they are going to implement a 4-3-3 formation.
Katarinin, especially in the last game, was a very strong force in the defense. Been doing a lot of the forward and backward movement, holding up in the middle. Also, we can expect a lot from Kai Kimura, who was the hat-trick hero in the last game, who will be making plays in this match as well.
And you have Ebenezer Aguier, who was playing as that central midfielder of theirs. So there you go. Starting 11, done and dusted right here for Garelli. And let's see if this will translate to another win for them. And with players to look out for, we did mention this already earlier, but we will elaborate again with Romel Katarinin, the man who was born in Masbate. And Katarinin again has been that force for them right here. Tuloy-tuloy yung pinapakita nila. Now, it's gonna be hard to stop him and his team, but the challenge is on them to continue to reinvent.
Yeah, kailangan tuloy-tuloy lang talaga, as you mentioned, Claro, and the consistency that they've been showing in the last few games. Although in the last 6 games they lost 3 to almost the top teams, it just shows that kaya pa nila na tuloy-tuloy lang.
There you go. That's our player to look out for Garelli. Let's take it to our coach interview.
Team have good form from our last games. We are very motivated, and it shows like our past games we are able to find the back of the net, and we're looking to keep the momentum up. And then I think one thing that we need to improve is consistency throughout the game. So sometimes we start in a strong way, and then we go down in the final moment. Sometimes we start slow and we become better in the final moment, but now we are trying to be more consistent from the start and the end of the game. So the team is working hard, and hopefully we keep this momentum to the end of the season. Thank you.
And that's our preview for Don Bosco Garelli United, or the Grey Wolves as they are also called. Let's jump ship, of course, to Philippine Army FC, or the Troopers. That is their moniker right here. And they continue to sit in the bottom of the table. Pero kahit papaano, Jed, they've racked up moral victories here and there. And as I've said, mathematically, they could still leapfrog a number of teams right here.
Especially for teams who are at the bottom side of the table. Kahit na, they still want to play for the win, but I think it's more important for them to find their form and be a little bit more consistent on, fixing their shape, being more, consistent in how they play the match.
You always expect big things from the Bedia cousins with Mark Anthony playing in goal, and you have Roy Kent who is playing in midfield, whether that be attacking mid or in the center to be precise. And with this, of course, they always bring that classic Filipino never say die mentality. As we have a look at their lineup, they are in the 4-5-1, but alam natin Jet, if they wish to attack, this can easily unleash into a 4-3-3.
Yeah, the 4-5-1 formation, kahit na overloaded yung midfield natin, you can always throw wings to the sides and still keep the center compact, especially with players like Jomray Sapal, who has been holding well in the middle, providing that consistency and that command. We will be expecting him to play a big part in this match.
And speaking of Jomray Sapal, he is a player to look out for right here in that squad of theirs. And Sapal was actually with Aguilas in the first half of the season. That was also the case right here for our other player to look out for earlier in Romel Katarinin. In fact, Sapal did score in the Aguilas winner over Maharlika, and that proved to be pivotal for them actually, and Sapal continues to deliver the goods right here for the Troopers.
Yeah, there's no question about the quality. It's just about how can they convert, and play more as a team. We will expect that, as the Philippine Army side, we'll see how physical the game will be. But aside from that, we have to be, kahit na on the physicality meron, but also on the on the game itself, there has to be quality.
Now, the question is, can they sustain that for 90 minutes? We'll find out later on, of course, but we will take it to our coach interview for the Troopers.
Expectation ko sa team is hopefully na makuha namin yung game plan namin na manalo kami ngayong game. And then kung kamusta po yung team, so far kahit wala masyadong training, pero okay pa rin naman dahil sa trabaho namin sa AFP. So, hindi maganda yung training namin. So, laro na lang po kami ng maayos.
That is Coach Yok Besite. He is actually an assistant to Coach Ronel Hener, pero medyo busy daw si Coach Ronel, of course, with his duty for the Army. That is why Yok Besite is stepping up. He is actually still an active player and did get to play for the Philippines years back. And may injury nga daw si Coach Yok, which he is nursing. It's on his right arm, a fractured arm to be precise. So we wish him a speedy recovery. Sabi ko nga, Coach, hinahanap kita during this season because in the previous competitions where Army would actually play, siya yung captain nila. But he will continue to make his impact as a coach. And the weather, as we mentioned, is definitely a factor right here, Jed. Do you think these guys are gonna have to lift off the gas pedal for a bit because of the conditions? It's a different beast when you stand on the turf in the middle of the afternoon.
Definitely, Claro, will see a big difference on how they play between the first and second half. With the first half being starting with this scorching heat. Observahan natin how the players will take it in the first few minutes. Will they be conserving a little bit more of their energy or pukpukan agad? But that will definitely be a factor considering it's summertime in the Philippines, and iba talaga yung pakiramdam pag ganito kainit yung laro.
And this is a stadium, this is a pitch you are very familiar with, of course. You got to play UAP games right here with DLSU back in the day. You would also train here, I also recall. So, valid source ka? Walang source, trust me bro, of course. But it is your Philippines Football League 2025-26 action. We are bringing you Don Bosco Garelli United and Philippine Army FC in match number 52. And we will take it to the pitch for our pre-match protocol. We have a look again at your starting 11 of Coach Mike Daniel Riconalia and Don Bosco Garelli. And they want to bring out their attacking ways, you could assume, with this formation. You have Solomon Okereke to lead the way up front, just to add to what we mentioned in the pregame. And Shotaro Ishii will man the posts as expected. We know, Jed, that teams are tough to stop once they get going.
Yeah, so Don Bosco Garelli, we can expect them to still hit those transition plays later on.
And before we transition to the Troopers, we'll have a good look at our captains and match officials. And si Jesus Abogado ay ang referee natin ngayon at ang kanyang assistants ay sila Ryan Flores and Ronelo Gatigan. Si Crismel Cayabyab ay ang fourth official. Ang referee assessor ay si Christian Dale Soriano. And your match commissioner ay si Mr. Robin Allen Cainglet. Your respective skippers, Chalsor Soriano para sa Philippine Army Troopers and Banjo Mahinay, a tenured player right here for the Grey Wolves. You could see again the sun making an impact right here, and we are switching sides based on how the toss coin developed. Here's the starting 11 of Philippine Army with that 4-5-1, and we could expect a lot of counter-attacking football here.
Tingnan natin kung the Philippine Army, kung pinag-aralan ba nila paano ang attacking stance ng Don Bosco Garelli with this 4-5-1 formation being more compact in the middle. Titingnan din natin kung paano nila gagamitin yung wings nila mamaya, if they will be playing out wide.
Your respective game changers right here, and let's see who'll be able to change this up. And Desmond Ngay, one of the favorites here for Garelli. And if you talk about a veteran experience, you've got the man himself, Nestorio Margarce Jr. or Boogie Margarce, a miracle in Hanoi, Ascal. That's where it all started. And of course, Philippine football continues to grow thanks to that magic moment in Vietnam. Solomon Okereke will kick off this match. And what was interesting, Jed, Shotaro Ishii, yung goalkeeper ng Garelli, was in the middle and only made the sprint now to his goal. Let's see, of course, who'll start this one strong. Garelli in orange and black. The Troopers in white. And we are off. So the team we mentioned in Garelli in orange and black, playing from right to left. In contrast, you have Philippine Army playing from left to right, and that is not how you want to start your game, just giving away possession like that. They will cycle it at the back. Regala. And I mean this in a good way, Jed, when I cite her playing experience. Di din ako natatakot because we're pretty much in LaSalle at the same time. And you have Michael Sims and Darwin Regala, players you got to play against. You may be familiar with their tricks in the bag or their play styles.
Michael Sims, I played with sa Davao, actually. He came
Also.
from Davao, yeah. So, and especially in the last game, he was a playmaker, actually. The first goal came from him running through the left side, just like what we're watching here.
It's with Abarca. My former UE Red Warrior. Whips in the cross. Okereke the header. And this is enough for the opening goal. And when he scores, he brings out his dance moves just a minute in. Fasten your seatbelts.
Bringing the team with him in that celebration.
So every time he scores, he's not just bringing out the dance moves, but it also becomes a team-building affair for Garelli. Let's have a look here.
First goal for Don Bosco Garelli. Abarca always ready on that left flank to get the ball in, whipping it in, and Solomon Okereke was always ready for that ball, getting his first touch in the match. Sorry, second touch after that kickoff a while ago. Goal within the first 2 minutes, advantage for Don Bosco Garelli.
And his dance now is a bit different from the previous season and previous games. So that's 6 goals for Okereke this season. 6 team building activities for Garelli in game. I'm not so sure. I think some guys are like, oh no, I don't have a choice, but he's the one scoring for us.
Team requirement siguro.
Not a team. May required team building activity din naman, no? They'll slide it over here. Katarinin. One of our highlight players again, as we've said. And Katarinin can also control the midfield when you talk about Romel. Here's Mike Sims doing his thing that you pointed out. It's Abarca again. An assist for him early on. And the physicality, as expected, will go the way of Philippine Army. They have to start this one on the back foot. Not by choice, of course, but they were pushed into that circumstance. It's one again by Abarca. Trying to assist the goal scorer once more. This is cleared off by Jalsor Soriano.
Army's right back or right winger also will have a busy day today with both Abarca and Michael Sims, 2 workhorses for Don Bosco Garelli, who's always been, kumaga, naglalagari sila up and down those flanks, always creating opportunities for their team.
And Banjo Mahina was unsuccessful in that instance, but Bangi was there to cover, as it is with Ishii. And when you look at the performance of Ishii individually, you're actually a bit surprised wala siyang clean sheet. But with the way he is bombarded, he's able to keep the score close in games where things do not go the way of the Grey Wolves, as Okereke will hold up play. Abarca. On the other side of the pitch, actually, there's Nico Palacio, who was a teammate of Jerome Abarca. As Sims will try to go for glory from distance. Too much to the right. You say that was a shot, or was that more of a long ball to connect with the teammate?
Considering it's still the first 5 minutes, parang a heat check. Tinitingnan niya kung they can make opportunities later on the game from that distance. No? Hindi lang siya, pero they're testing the keeper as early as possible. So it can be a shot.
There was frustration from Darwin Regala because he couldn't get his connection with the midfield, and right after they lost the ball, Army gave up a foul. It is a massive deficit they have on the attack because they do not have Go Ariola, who is still serving his suspension. They do not have John Celis also, who is in the stands. And once upon a time, that was the dynamic duo of Green Archers United in the 2019 PFL season. And that is why you do have former Adamson Soaring Falcon Dexter Cassing, who is playing up front, more of a fullback, but
I'm speculating he's playing at striker for Army because he has some crazy pace behind him.
Yeah, I was going to mention bilis talaga niya, and they will maybe look for that space behind Don Bosco Garelli. But they now have a set piece, which, you know, in these games, kung nahihirapan silang umangat, this is one of the clear opportunities they can get in this match.
Quality ball from Roy Kent Bedia, and Ishii had to tip it over the bar. Ano ang bola ng Garelli dito, Jed? That may have been outside already by the time Ishii tapped it. And as much as they lead 1-0 and we are 6 minutes into this game, Ishii is furious with his defender Katarinin. That's teammates, do you say arguing, Jed? I think that's tough love.
Tough love, and let's say as early as now, they're still trying to settle down. So pinipili siguro nila yung kanilang strategy. Will they be playing down or directly up top, which I think Ishii wanted to do a while ago.
As this ball was skied by Melgaco, couldn't go his way. Renz Gumban secured. There's the intent to build up from the back. Minalik kay Gumban, nagmamadali. Bedia playing it through, flag stays down. Casting to chase, cut it back. No one there, and he was missing an angle of sorts because that was well into the area of Ishii.
Great opportunity created by Philippine Army there. Kaya nilang i-break yung depensa ng Don Bosco Garelli in that instance.
And with that, the Troopers are brewing with confidence. On to the right. Couldn't get the connection though with Gumban. The stakes are high right here for Army, because if they get a draw, they'll get within 1 point of Valenzuela PB Minjola, who sit at number 10. Army 11 out of the 11 competing teams here. Simple as this on paper, but difficult to do. If the Troopers get the win, they will actually push Minjola to the bottom. Angat yung Philippine Army, who are actually still searching for their first win in this campaign.
Maybe they are also playing for pride, considering in this 19th match, they are still looking to get that win. Just tallying 2 draws to show so far in this season.
Okereke. No high boot in that instance. He's looking to make life difficult dito para kay Regala. Some hands flying also there. Sent forward by Sapal. Bangi to Mahinay. Banjo can also play the central midfield position, as we know. Get it to the right. They'll look to accelerate here with that connection from Yamaguchi. It's back with Utah. They favored the left earlier. Now it's the right. Off the boot of Okereke. They're looking to swarm him. He'll play it back. Roy Kenbedia gets it to Dexter Casing. 1-on-3 in this instance. He'll look for help. Dito ulit kay Gumban. Balak niya sana ipasa kay Dexter Casing. The two get into a collision, but it's another stop for Garelli. But this was what we were previewing also. Delicado yung Army on the counter-attack, especially with Dexter Casing. As much as he's not playing fullback, mabilis siya.
And even with that contact with Katerinin, he's saying, I'm here to stay, no? I'm a threat in your defense, so watch out.
Off we go quickly. Abarca playing narrow. Melgaco, the Brazilian. Not in the same wavelength there. But Okereke gave the thumbs up with what they were able to operate in tight space. Darwin, a former NU Bulldog. You were talking about how Michael Sims would be a threat because he was your opponent in the UAAP. Also a teammate back home in Davao. As we'll pause this first. Palacio. You're saying again, Palacio, a former UE Red Warrior just like Abarca, but just intercepted by Ishii. But just going back to that again, what does Darwin Regala bring to the table other than him being very experienced playing for Manila Tigger and Stallion, the likes in previous seasons?
Well, Darwin Regala, you can see that, as you mentioned, he has the experience. So hindi basta-basta siya magko-commit, especially holding back the ball in the defense. Though you will expect that he will play physical and strong, pero with the experience that he has, I don't think he will give up any, giveaways for the opposing team.
And this was a foul that was won here by Garelli, the Grey Wolves. How do you see this free kick going, Jed? It's outside of the goalkeeper area, close to that corner when you refer to the box.
If they will play aggressively with Melgaco taking the free kick, he can go hit the first post if he wants to, or since it's an in-swinger, nakikita natin yung mga teammates ng Don Bosco, ng teammates ni Melgaco loading up on the top of the box. They might rush in with that in-swing with Solomon Okereke, or his other teammates, rushing towards the goal.
They did get that touch, not enough to trouble the keeper. Yung tanong ko sana, if you were taking that, would you have gone for goal?
Heat check again. Since it's still early in the match, I would have taken that chance just to test the goalkeeper a little bit, see if he's already gotten his groove, or if we can take chances from that distance. So if it were me, I would have taken the shot.
You're talking about getting that momentum going as that shot is on target for Felipe Melgaco. And speaking of warming up, mukhang naka-warm up na dito si Mark Anthony Bedia.
He's been taking shots in the first 13 minutes of this match.
And we were putting an emphasis earlier on the temperatures, but of course, over the course of this game, the heat will die down by a bit, which is a welcome sight in the Filipino summer.
But the action, tuloy-tuloy pa rin at mas umiinit pa, as we've seen with that, with those contacts and fouls in the first few minutes.
Baliktad, no? Bababa yung temperature, pero yung intensity ng laro tataas.
Aangat, yeah, of course. Pero kung sobrang init naman, siguro we'll see the players slowing down a little bit, conserving.
There's some shielding here. Will they cross? They go for the back post. There's Mike Sims putting pressure on Gumban. Oh, Bedia couldn't meet it. It was poked away kay Melgaco at nagmamadali siya. It's about 4-3 in this half. Okereke ended up offside. Nakayuta Yamaguchi shifts lanes, shoots and scores. Took it with his left, blasted it past the keeper, and they doubled their lead in the 14th minute.
What a strike by Yuta Yamaguchi from outside the box, and that's what I've been telling you, Claro. The heat check, kailangan ng heat check. Tingnan natin if kaya nating tumira from outside, and that goal came all the way from defense when Melgaco poked away that attack from Army. Being very patient with that 4 versus 3 situation. Okereke looked to tow 2 players with him, leaving Yuta Yamaguchi wide open. Taking that 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, all it takes to score the second goal for Don Bosco Garelli.
You got to take a look at that goal with our Quad Vision replay brought to you by Upstream Sports TV. Goal number 5 for Yuta Yamaguchi in this season. That's to add to the 3 assists of his in this season so far, as we have a cooling break as expected. And the scoreboard does not lie here. Dito Jed, 2-0 for Garelli. Obviously, the happier squad in the first checkpoint dito sa ating laro.
Don Bosco Garelli has been playing aggressive, from the get-go. We did, and this is something that we've been observing, especially starting the second round of the season. parang paangat yung trajectory ng Don Bosco Garelli. And even in this match, they've started playing aggressively. Again, as I mentioned a while ago, from the first minutes, they're not letting the Philippine Army settle down. And then they're showing that we have what it takes to, show quality football and move up the ranks in the league table.
And earlier, with our preview with Garelli, they were also talking about a streak when it comes to being able to score. And obviously, with them being up 2-0 at the moment, that scoring streak continues. It is a good sign in games where kahit talo kayo, you're still able to score, because that's something that speaks volumes of your offense and chemistry.
Well, it shows na whatever's happening on the training ground is taking effect, and effective siya dito sa laro. Kasi na-apply natin, we're able to score goals, and at the end of the day, football is about scoring goals and winning. Although they're not getting the results in terms of wins, but gumagana yung tactics nila.
So that is 7 games now, or 7 consecutive games where Garelli have been able to score. And the last time wherein they were shut out was in a 4-0 loss to Stallion Laguna last February 28. So hey, they went through the whole March. Naka-goal sila. We are nearing the end of April. Let's find out, of course. And I'm confident, not just with the scoring. You want to grab victories. Simple as this. Kahit 1-0, 4-0, whatever you name it.
And for teams on the opposite side of the table, if they're playing against the stronger teams, siguro mas maraming pressure. They can't play their game. But playing against other teams from the bottom of the table, they're able to get their groove, find their footing, and test out kung nag-i-improve ba yung kanilang chemistry and the way they play. And I think this is what Don Bosco Garelli is taking advantage of. They're not letting any of these games slip.
And Abarca was surrounded in that instance. They'll get to move it up now with Napolitano. But it was played back. Because when you look at goal difference for all teams in the consolation round, save for Maharlika, it's actually not looking good, because you have teams who are massively in the negative. Heading into this game, Garelli at -50. Toloy at -92, who just dropped form also, with all due respect. Valenzuela PB at -88. Army at -100 heading into this game. But figures will change, of course, since they are playing as we speak.
And these are definitely good signs for Don Bosco Garelli. For next season, everything will reset if they show the same upward momentum in their form. Then they might find themselves in the middle, or if not, at the top of the table with this attack from Samuel Okereke.
And he makes it 3. New dance again here? No, it's the same one.
Calling his teammates again, this is our thing, do it together. Great effort from Don Bosco Garelli, not letting the Philippine Army transition. Already addressing them in their defensive half, on the attacking half, on that attacking third of Don Bosco Garelli. Just putting the pressure, Solomon Okereke and Yuta Yamaguchi. Great interception there. And this is what the Philippine Army has to look out for, and not drop their
Drop their guard.
Their guard, yes. Thanks for that, Claro. Especially in the defense, where we can expect Don Bosco Garelli to be very aggressive.
Kasi sa totoo, okay na pinapakita ng Army sa likod. They were building up from the back. In this instance, where Mark Bedie was trying to get the ball forward, na-intercept ni Yuta Yamaguchi. We do know, of course, when you build up from the back, yes, naging trend siya ngayon sa modern football. But it's somewhat playing with fire. If you make a mistake in that instance, baka magiging regalo sa kalaban kahit hindi pa Pasko.
Now, building up from the back takes precision, patience, and confidence. Kasi kung hindi ka din sigurado sa pasa mo and you know that the opposing team is on their toes, ready to pounce on those missed passes, they are closer to your goal, so you have to be very careful. So quality is also important as you build up.
In that instance, Yuta Yamaguchi, Jerome Abarca, and Okireke, we're putting up the pressure because when you press, as we know, if you get the ball, golden opportunity, and your hard work sets up a quote-unquote easy chance to score. And that is what Garelli are looking to do now. They'll need to see Jalsor Soriano bring out the tank in him, of course, because he is that mainstay for them at the back.
Don Bosco Garelli not letting the play escape from the defensive third of Philippine Army, and they have nothing else to do but just clear the ball out for Philippine Army.
And because Okireke has an early brace, he now has 7 in this season. He is effectively the leading scorer of Garelli. He just overtook Desmond Ngai, who is on the bench. You could expect to see him for some late game attacking firepower.
In the last few games, Solomon Okereke has also started from the bench, and even if he started from the bench, the goals show for his the quality that he has in front. Impact player, and even if you start him sa simula pa lang ng laro, I mean 2 minutes in, scoring the first goal.
2 touches pa lang, di ba, Jed, in that game? And
I
the
believe
first touch was when he kicked off the match. Pero kahit pa paano, that counts as a touch, right?
I'll have to see the replay and count the actual touches, but do correct me on that. But first 2 touches of the match and scoring a goal.
Chance now here. And they were able to get by with Mahinay's presence at the back. But Katarinin loses it. Could they keep it in? That is confirmed here. And Jomray Sapal getting it for them. Not just a throw in, pero free kick ito.
Now, Renz Gumban was being too unselfish. In fact, in that attack, could have taken the shot. Golden opportunity for Philippine Army to put themselves in the scoreboard.
Sapa will give us a right-footed cross. Sun is also a factor here for the defenders. Couldn't get this one quite on target though. Is this a chance gun begging, or if you're Army, will you take it? This is a chance para maka-warm up dito sa itong laro.
I think for Army, they have to take all the set pieces as golden opportunities, because it's clearly the easiest way for them to get to their attacking third or to the defensive third of Don Bosco Garelli. They haven't been successful in building up from the defense to the middle up until the attack. Most of their attacks in the few instances in this first half were from transitions. But as we can see here, even though the ball is already on top, medyo naiiwan yung ibang players nila sa gitna. The transition is quite slow for Philippine Army, which leaves a lot of space for Don Bosco Garelli to operate in transition.
We are 24 minutes into this one. And referee Jesus Abogado awarding a foul in the middle. 3-0 is the score again. Okereke with the early brace, and you have Yamaguchi with that banger from outside of the goalkeeper area. Sims. Clever ball, but the flag is raised.
He was looking for that run from Solomon Okereke. I could see that he was just waiting for the right time, but the release was slightly delayed.
Is that a sigh of relief for Michael Sims? Hindi raw siya kailangan sumayaw.
But he's been enjoying the shade throughout this whole game. So,
that's right.
it was well, you would always want to dance with Solomon Okereke because it's always indicates that you are scoring for the team and the team is leading. But in this case, he's enjoying much of the comfort in this first 26 minutes of the match.
And with the direction of the sun, with the orientation of the grandstand, there is that shade for the left wing of Garelli and for the right wing of Philippine Army.
If you notice the attacks of Philippine Army, the first few instances that we were able to reach their attacking third was on the right side, on the side of Renz Gumban. So it's going to be an interesting matchup for Gumban and Michael Sims.
Winner keeps the shade.
Winner keeps the shade.
Simple as this. Counter-attack time with Yamaguchi. Knocked it to the right. Kai Kimura will try to cut inside. You got to see him drill that one, but it only hit the crossbar. I was anticipating to call that as a goal already.
What a shot. He just took it and, you know, he had the time, he had the space. He just wanted to try for, you know, go for a goal, but crossbar just took his hopes away. He will have more opportunities later on.
You miss the shots you don't take. No guts, no glory.
Exactly, Clara. And we have one more opportunity here. Snuffed out.
It was denied well by Darwin Regala, and you could see it's a sigh of relief. They actually have Chai Villasenor, who is playing right back, because oftentimes you'll see Jalsor Soriano alongside Chai, or teammates in Kaya once upon a time. You have Darwin Regala, really more of a fullback, pero siya yung nilalagay sa gitna. It's a bit inverted in this instance, but we know what Coach Yok Besite has in mind here. And Age knocked it to Mahinay. He'll look to act as that playmaking center back. Katarinin. Michael Sims. Felipe Melgaco. The Brazilian loves it. Okereke gets to break free. There's Jalsor Soriano to help. Only gets to hit the side of the net.
Yeah, he saw that space from what Mark Anthony Bedia left, because the goalkeeper was expecting the cutback, already anticipating the pass to Yuta Yamaguchi. So Okereke took that chance with just too much, you know, space on the left.
And that press continues here. It's another mistake. Last time Yamaguchi won it, it was a goal, and that's the case here. Yuta gets his brace, joins Okereke on that list. It's a big 4-0, and we aren't even in the halfway mark or the half-hour mark. A dream start, a perfect start.
A brace for Yamaguchi, both coming from defensive mistakes of the Philippine Army. Again, he was there just ready to pounce on the mistakes, and this is one thing that the Philippine Army really has to address, because they know they should already expect Yuta Yamaguchi to be on his toes, ready to pounce on those bad passes and missed touches. And in this case, Yamaguchi was, it was not by chance. He made himself be in the right place at the right time, and you know, comfortably scoring his second goal.
You say he forced that mistake, or he was lurking and waiting for a mistake?
He was lurking for the mistake, and he was making himself ready to take advantage of those. And we'll expect more of that from him, since they are actually pushing Philippine Army to create mistakes on their defensive third, and that's what we've been mentioning ever since the start of this match. It's going to be very dangerous now. Trying to build up from the back, but if you don't build up with quality and accuracy, it can spell disaster for your team.
Earlier, of course, when you got to take a look at your 4 angles at the same time, that's your quad vision replay, brought to you by Upstream Sports TV. I got to train my eyes already to look at all 4 angles at the same time. I'm not so sure about you.
Ganun kasi if you want to see, you know, seeing the goal from all different angles. Ganda ba ng shot? Saan ba yung positioning ng keeper? You know, and for entertainment-wise, it looks great. For tactical, purposes, it can also serve a different purpose. So, great addition to our media setup here.
I was introduced in this season, of course. I'm aware our friends in the Philippine football community love it. But going back now, Army not loving this start. Do you say it all starts with one goal dito para sa Troopers so they could get chugging, or does it start with just being strong in the midfield?
Claro, at this stage of the season and the match, even if we look at how tactically versed they are or equipped they are, it all boils down to mentality as well. Titingnan natin, they're 4 goals down, their heads already down. We can't expect them to make great plays if the morale is already low. So they have to bounce back, starting from the psychological state. They want the ball. They want to create those plays, and let's see if they will be able to adjust to that with this attack on the right side. Again, Renz Gumban versus Sims.
And we were talking about it, right? They are getting forward with chances. Now you want to just up the quality and put them away. Well, it's a counter now. Flag clearly down. Abarca in the middle. Cleared off by Regala. They'll recycle on the right wing. Now it's a high ball, and it's met by Bedia. Sigh of relief, you could say. And Napolitano flicked it wide. Palacio. I believe he tried to catch the keeper napping there.
But as you said a while ago, the chances that you don't take will always be chances that you miss. So he tried, but before that instance, Don Bosco Garelli was doing their usual counter attack, which in the past few games were the reason why they always find themselves on the scoreline or on the scoreboard. They have been taking advantage of those hits to both Abarca and Kai Kimura, with both Solomon Okereke or Desmond Ngai up top. So there are always at least 2 or 3 people on transition ready to pounce on those attacks.
That's what's keeping them dangerous, of course, in this game. Plenty of football remaining, without a doubt. We just went past the half-hour mark. Okereke got a touch. Offside is the call again here.
Parang nahuhuli ng Philippine Army yung offside kay Solomon Okereke. I believe that's the second or third that third instance he was caught offside.
Do you have to be concerned? Medyo madami yung offside, but you're up 4-0 nonetheless.
I think it's a positive for Philippine Army if they are intentionally doing it. Hinuhuli nila yung strikers. They're not letting the counter-attack progress. But in this instance, Abarca's way open on the left side.
Tries to blow by Sapal.
Sapal has been everywhere in this game.
And we can confirm that this is a corner kick. Army trying to plead their case. Garelli, the Grey Wolves, will just take their sweet time as they will set this up and get numbers forward. Army, of course, not one of the taller teams in the PFL, but they do bring in a lot of physicality. And I'm sure, Jed, in your formative days playing football, or kahit when you were playing in the UAP, you had to deal with the physicality of our teams from the armed forces.
Yeah, well, I myself was never the tallest member of the team, but it's, the bigger the heart, the more opportunities you can make for yourself. And you know, if you don't have the physicality, gamitan mo ng utak, and that's how I approach the game.
As it's won by Okereke. Angle is out, but the shot is in. It's a hat trick for Okereke.
Another team building dance here. Will he be using the same moves, or he's too tired to do it?
Let's find out, of course, here. Is he bringing out the same moves? I really wonder. I never thought he'd get tired.
Let's see a replay of that goal. Again, another interception by Kai Kimura, taking advantage of the mistakes of the defenders. Okereke was always ready to get that ball, striking it from distance, just past that line of the box. He saw the opening, just took the shot, slots it behind the net for his third goal of the game.
I really wonder. Do they say, oh man, we have to dance again because we're up thanks to him? Because what if you're an introvert and he scores as he's trying to make it 4? And that is the case here. It's Solomon Okereke's world, and we are just living in it.
Not even 2 minutes after his previous goal. They've been pouncing on the mistakes of Philippine Army on defense. You gotta give it to Don Bosco Garelli, who's always ready for these opportunities. Let's see that one more time. Philippine Army wasn't able to get the ball out of their defensive zone. It's either, you know, Kai Kimura or Yuta Yamaguchi who's making those interceptions. They are quick, and Solomon Okereke is always ready.
I pity his teammates who have to dance with him. Well, jokes aside, of course, for Army, things are crumbling right here. I assume that they have to change the course with the way things are going with 8 minutes remaining in the first half.
They still have 8 minutes to show for something, but in the past few minutes, we've been seeing that they've been slow.
Abarca just taps it in now. Off the assist from Melgaco. They're just running riot right here.
What a goal by Abarca, who's been instrumental in this game so far on the left side. Instead of making those passes and crosses in, he finally gets his goal of the match. Melgaco with that decoy run. Great chemistry with the team. Sees that the goalkeeper was up too early. Had his teammate on the left side trailing with him. Abarca will always see the back of the net in that instance.
And that is right. It is 7-0. That is what you see on the scoreboard. And we are only in the first half. The streak of Garelli not just continuing, but they are putting up a clinic on offense. Played over the top. Villaseñor did get some connection there with the likes of Texter Casing. Unfortunately, he could not sustain the energy there. Sims. Was he trying to go fancy there when you refer to Okereke?
It could go two ways. Either he's gonna flick it back to his teammate, or flick it back, then flick it again with his other foot, which I think he tried to do. Just didn't direct the ball to where he wanted. But let's see, the space between the players of Philippine Army is too much, both on defense and offense. They're leaving a lot of room for Don Bosco Garelli to operate, and I think that's been playing against them throughout this whole match. And it's something they definitely have to talk about after 6 or 7 minutes when this match is first half of this match is over.
That is going to be a difficult huddle for Army over the halftime break. Let's see how they'll be able to pick their pieces together. The Troopers continue to be undermanned again because they are without Celis and Ariola. The two actually combined for 7 goals in this season. Celis with 4, Ariola with 3. As much as Celis is a winger, Ariola is an attacker. They're able to bring in that leadership in the midfield where we know that things are very vital. Midfielders have to connect defense to offense.
But in their absence, some players are getting their time as well to show how they can contribute to the team.
So you're hoping for a bounce back if you are Army, as Abarca gets the flag raised. And if you are the Troopers, you want to do damage control at the least heading into the break. Throw-in was taken. Sims backheeled it. Not that he forced the issue in going fancy. He had the chance to just get the ball out of their defensive third.
Plays advantage in this instance, Jesus Abogado. Chance for Army.
There is also a Trooper who is down on the pitch. It's Roy Kent Bedia. He appears to be in pain.
And I think a penalty was awarded by Jesus Abogado. Let's see this. He did play the advantage. And after the contact, he's awarding the penalty.
Take us through this, Jed.
Let's see it again here. 2 players sandwiches him. Well, the ball was clearly poked out, but I think Jesus Abogado wants to take note of the contact that was made by the 2 players against one Philippine Army player in that instance. Army has a chance to put 1 goal on the scoreboard for them before this first half ends.
And better late than never, as they say. The Troopers with the opportunity to start their engines. They could spoil the clean sheet bid, but that is not the case here, as it's a denial. And I am sure that Nico Palacio would want that opportunity back.
Issue with the confidence from the start of this match, and it shows in this instance. This golden opportunity for Philippine Army to put them on the scoreboard. Issue with that commanding save on the bottom right side.
What was missing? Because that was going for the bottom corner.
It's either great anticipation or, you know, just the skill of Ishii, especially in the penalties.
As much as this is football, you could say Ishii channeling the Shohei Ohtani in him. And I say that because they're from the same country. Kasing. Bedia could not reach it. Jesus Abogado not convinced in that instance. It would have been another penalty if things went the way of Kier Napolitano and the Troopers.
Another Philippine Army player down inside the penalty box. Was there really a contact? Have to see the replay for that. But Jesus Abogado was not sold on this instance for the foul. There was no push. Katarinin was just standing, just watching the player in front of him collapse. Or a little shoulder from the back. Hindi pala kita, galing sa angle natin. Pero may konting shoulder, a little contact. Jesus Abogado was not convinced that was enough for a penalty.
Oh, Ishii's forward ball was awkward. And Mahinay got hit in the shin as he desperately got that ball out. 3 minutes of additional time, as confirmed by our fourth official, Crismel Kayabyab. And that was shaky at the back there, as you saw. And Ishi's pass was intercepted. Sinalo ng Army. Mahinay tried to clear it desperately. Got clipped in the process. That's why he's down on the ground.
Kahit sa Don Bosco Garelli, it can still be dangerous to have possession from the back. And good thing in this scenario, their captain was able to snuff it out.
Mahinay is the captain for a reason in this squad of theirs. Now, from the very moment they started taking part in PFL competitions, which started in the 2023 Copa, and as much as the score is 7-0 at lamang sila Bancho Mahinay, he's the type of player you need to see through games like these to avoid any collapses or to ensure that momentum does not go to your opponent.
And it takes some leadership skills to keep the team grounded, not to continue hectically. And so far, this first half, seems like he's done his job well.
Intercepted by Ishii, and that corner is no good. You were a team captain also, Jed, right, when you were playing in your college days?
It's not about it's not about just the tactics. It has a lot to do about how you keep the team together on and off the field. Making sure that all of you are on the same page. Because kung mismong sa even if you don't know.
Well, let's cut this first because there's a chance and they hit the post. What do the Troopers have to do to find a goal? Because they got a penalty and they just hit the post. I'm not so sure.
Golden opportunity for them in that instance. Just couldn't find the back of the net. But it shows positively for Philippine Army, even though they're 7 goals down, they are still looking for opportunity, creating opportunities.
Going back with what you were saying about team captains being like the intangible presence in the locker room.
When players are very competitive, you have to somehow ground them back to the ground. Kung puro laro lang talagang iniisip nila, you have to remind them that they're also just humans. They have emotions and they have to play not with the emotions, but they have to play with their head and their heart. So it takes a certain kind of skill to be able to connect with those players.
Kasing trying to distribute, but there's the heavy touch here. And that is eventually the halftime whistle right here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. It was a close opportunity there for the Troopers right before the break. 7-0 is the score, but the job's not done if you're Garelli, and the Troopers have 15 minutes to get their act together before the second 45. 7-0 again is the score behind Okireke's 4 goals, a brace from Yamaguchi, and a goal also from Jerome Abarca. at the half at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, and it is a guns out first 45 for Don Bosco Garelli. They've just been hitting pedal to the metal, and Okereke with 4 goals. This is the second touch of Okereke in this game, Jed, as we were pointing out. Goal kaagad, Jerome Abarca getting the connection.
On the other hand, the Philippine Army had their chances on the right side, especially coming. But the second goal here, first of Yuta Yamaguchi, they have been, always poaching in the defensive side of the Philippine Army. They have been a little bit scrappy, so 5 of those 7 goals are coming from mistakes from the defense. And this is something that, as we see here again, Yuta Yamaguchi getting those missed passes. They have been capitalizing on these chances.
They've been making the troopers pay an expensive price. And as we speak again, it's 7-0. And I'm thinking that the troopers just wanted to damage control at the least. But if they could get something, why not? And this is a far cry, Jed, from the March 11 result, actually, between these two teams. Yes, Garelli got to score 7 goals and Army got to score 1. But the goals were spread out dito para sa Garelli in their first round encounter. Not the case here. 45 minutes. 7 goals already. They got to equal it.
And as you mentioned a while ago, there's going to be a lot of damage control for the Philippine Army. 56% possession for Garelli, 44 for Philippine Army, 12 shots, 10 on target compared to the 4 shots and 1 on target. Though Philippine Army is not short of opportunities as well. They had a penalty a while ago, which, Shotaro Ishii dominantly saved on the bottom right corner. They also found the woodwork a while ago. So they do have chances. They just have to capitalize it. And if they want to level the scoreline of the previous matchup of these 2 games at 7-1, they have to be a little bit more decisive in the attacking third, especially from the goal.
Ernest Quay just checked in for Yuta Yamaguchi, as is the case with Jesse Belgira, coming on for Darwin Regala, who had a difficult outing. And these subs are going to be set into stone once second half is kicked off. And with the stats, of course, right there, you do see that Army are still getting something kahit papano. But it's that final third where they just want to tune or fine-tune things, of course. And hopefully, if you are the crew of Philippine Army, you're able to put your chances away.
But before they can reach that attacking third, they have a lot of reconstruction to do defensively, even in the midfield. In the first half, they've been very loose. The space between the defenders, the midfield, and the striker in transition, both in attack and defense, have been very wide, leaving a lot of space for Don Bosco Garelli to operate. That's why a lot of their passes, kanina, mga cross passes, even their safety passes, they intercept ng wingers or strikers ng Don Bosco Garelli. So if they want to claw their way back into this match, they have to first re-establish their shape and positioning.
Changes are now being confirmed right here, as you have Philippine Army in all white. They are playing from right to left. De Guzman from Soriano couldn't get it there. It's Okereke again to pounce. Is it going to be the same script as the first half? Kimura. In contrast, you have Garelli now with the ball. They are playing from left to right. And that score you see right here on your screen is actually confirmed. Clara Manzano here alongside Jed Diamante. And this is your curtain raiser in your Philippines Football League action, as Nico Palacio got hit right there in the shin.
I think that was retaliation because before the sequence, 3 players of Don Bosco Garelli were hit in their attack. But in this instance, the foot of Ernest Quaye was quite late. And I think this is the first touch that he had, or first actual action in the as he was subbed in the second half.
No yellow cards yet in this game. And as much as the numbers are able to show for Army, they were on the counter. They weren't able to make them count, unfortunately. It's Garelli dictating play. Roy Bedia will drive it forward now. And Jalsor Soriano appeared to get a piece of it, but there was a foul in the process with Katarinin hitting the floor. We do have another game at the Rizal Memorial Stadium this match day or game day. You do have Stallion, Laguna, and Tigig. So do continue to stay with us again for your Philippines Football League coverage. Later, you have Cebu versus Manila Digger. That will take place at the Dynamic Her Borromeo Sports Complex in Cebu, of course. And they're just slicing the defense like like a knife through butter. Just wide here, though.
Kai Kimura having his second opportunity in this match. He took too much time, actually. He could have taken that shot right away. But he wanted it, kumbaga, sure ball.
Or as they say, playing safe, sure ball, o para sigurado. And Milgaco will take an out swinger here. They have numbers now to crowd the goalkeeper box. It returns to the Brazilian. Overhit that one, so it's out for a goal kick dito para kay Mark Anthony Bedia. I believe it's about taking it a minute at a time if you are Army. But with Garelli subbing off Yuta Yamaguchi, now I sense you're somewhat releasing or getting your foot off the gas pedal.
They're letting other players from the bench get their minutes to show their quality as well in the match.
Okereke with the touch. Got the release. And it's Bedia with a stop. This is Philippine Army defense. They're getting their confidence together. Palacio to Kasing. Dexter trying to shake off Bangi. Got it to the middle. Palacio will slide it. Sapa was locked down by Sims. Well, on target, but definitely lacking power and a bit of placement to drill that or blast it past Shotaro Ishii.
Philippine Army did try to work on their transition, but at the end of that instance, you could see it was a 3v6 situation. The transition for the teammates or the support was not quite there to complete the attack.
That was poked away from Okereke. That is why it's the troopers working their way up. Okereke now with 4 goals in this game. Mahina got this from Bangi. Aguier. He's been the unsung hero here when you talk about Ebenezer Aguier. Just pulling the strings in the midfield. Your midfield will collapse without the presence of a central midfielder. And Aguier has been able to get the job done here. And we are saying that because they lead 7-0.
Kanina pa nakikita natin he's been dictating the pace of the match.
There's the high ball and a clear bump to Milgaco. And it just hit the roof of the net. That is not going to count. But I think Milgaco wasn't pleased with how he was hit in the middle of that play.
Kahit na advantage for his teammate, although that was a high tackle to the chest or even the jaw, I think. But they were not able to convincingly connect with the goal, although Jesus Abogado gave that a chance to complete the attack.
Advantage was played, I assume, with what you were saying.
Nakita na natin yung signature physicality ng Philippine Army side dito sa second half.
And do you think they should have brought that out immediately?
I think it wouldn't be enough to intimidate this Don Bosco Garelli side if they started the match with that. Or I would have preferred they started the match with more control of how they distributed the ball around, because so far it's been loose both in defense and attack.
The ball to Abarca intercepted. Casing. You see, they moved him to the midfield as it was unsuccessful for them to have him playing up front.
Gago was hit with that quick free kick. Not sure if it was intentional, but warranted this delay in the game.
At ramdam ko rin, Jed. Again, the weather is getting cooler. Head's getting hotter. Is there a direct correlation between the two in that
Napansin
instance?
natin from the first half, this observation is valid.
So paano yung mga games sa panggabi? Mainit kaagad yung start mentally?
Well, mas kalmado ka kasi walang init or add factor. But in this case, mas masarap tumakbo. You get tired less. But sometimes the problem with this is the nerves. You get too excited that you tense up or you're not able to think clearly. That's probably the downside of playing on cooler conditions. You get too excited to do what you want.
It's more that mental aspect from the get-go already for games that are kicked off in the later stages. Oh, this one hitting the other side, but it is eventually turned in by the troopers. And Kier Napolitano able to clean up.
This equals the last matchup that they have. Scoreline being 7-1 here at the 54th minute of the match. Great transition on the right side. Army player was able to get the ball, strikes it, hits the upright. But his teammate was there to pounce for the loose ball. John Napolitano gets the first goal for the Philippine Army.
No angle. Somehow, he hit the post. Where Army also, or which Army also hit earlier. There must have been frustration in that instance also. When they were able to douse any of those frustrations because Napolitano was able to turn it in. More of a relief, you could say, dito para sa troopers.
And getting one goal in this match. Sana mabuhayan sila. They get this fuels a little bit more of the momentum on their side.
And with this, Garelli wanting to answer back immediately, but it was out. Bangi could not keep it in. That's why there's a throw in from deep. And we have an update actually right here. So Digger actually leads Cebu 1-0 over at the Dynamic Air Borromeo Sports Complex. And with that actually, the Digger are chasing one Tigig in the standings. They need to get that win. Cebu want to chase Digger and one Tigig. So those are the number 2 and number 3 teams squaring off over at the Visayas.
At this later stage of the season, every point counts. A lot of the, even internationally, the last matches are what dictates the final positions. A win, a draw, or a loss spells the final result for the rest of, for the whole season, no matter how much you worked so hard in the first few games, or, you know, if you just drop a point in the last match or the last matches, it can spell either victory or disaster for the team.
Another thing to factor in, of course, also is getting a strong start and being consistent para hindi kayo naghahabol sa mga points, or if you have a massive goal difference, ditto that for one Tigig and Manila Digger, you're going to have an advantage on the last day because sometimes a team will be in an instance where, oh, we can bag a draw and it's okay because we're going to win on goal difference because our goal difference is better than the next team by plus 20, plus 10,
Ayun ang gap.
all of the above. But in this instance, actually, Jed, between Tigig and Digger, halos dikit sila. And what more with Cebu, although the Gentle Giants trail by about 30 goals or so in terms of goal difference only when you look at the big picture.
But if you look at the points, they're just 3 points away. So we could say from the stats that either Manila Digger is just a scoring powerhouse,
That
or
is a true
dynamic.
statement.
Yeah, sorry, I have to apologize because yes, Manila Digger has been scoring a lot of goals, but on the other hand, Dynamic Herb Cebu might be well on defense, trying to stop a lot of shots against them.
Cebu.
Maybe winning by just a smaller scoreline.
Cebu with a massive back line, and then they have goalkeepers such as Rami Juridi to lead the way for them. But back to the action. Okereke almost got to connect with Mahinay. Okereke has been the main man again in this game. As it's intercepted, will they make the Troopers pay the price once more? Unselfish in this instance from Garelli in hopes of breaking the Trooper defense, which has improved. When you look at the second half on its own, Jed, 1-0 ang score. Just that lone goal so far for Philippine Army. All 7 goals of Garelli were scored in the first half.
So hindi natin alam, no, something that can happen for Philippine Army in the second half. They have been playing more aggressively than the first half. They're working their way to shift the momentum to their side. On the other hand, Don Bosco Garelli are sending fresh legs on their end with Desmond Gayas to reinforcing the attack.
And Okereke will step off with 4 goals. We have Stocco and Desmond Ngay, who just checked in right here.
We can expect Desmond Ngay to add to the scoreline, considering he's also one of the top scorers of Don Bosco Garelli.
Right before this game, Ngay was the top scorer of Garelli. Okereke got to overtake him, as it's almost another one here. But it's a super save from Shotaro Ishii. And Renz Gumban is in disbelief.
Kayang-kaya pala dito sa transition play again on the right side kay Renz Gumban. Took it first touch over Ishii, but Ishii with a heroic save got his fingertips to that ball. See the frustration in Renz Gumban's eyes.
Ishii was slightly off position in that instance, but was able to recover in time.
And that was not the first time that the Philippine Army tried to catch Ishii off guard. Siguro binasa ni Renz Gumban na in the next instant I see him off the line, I will try to go for the shot.
And here's Yok Besite standing in again for Ronel Hener. Besite is serving as an assistant coach as he is still out due to a fractured arm. If only he could step on the pitch, of course, and just lift his boys' morale up, because we are aware of what Besite can bring to the table when it comes to midfield play and being that kuya on the field to these players. Stocco first touches. Mahinay released it quickly to Bangi. Army tried to give Garelli a dose of their own medicine. It was just secured well by De Guzman. That was a great first touch, I will say. It's with Guy. A game changer coming in again. This was expected. The 2 subs trying to connect. Stocco. You have Katarinin also off camera trying to provide us that option. And it is a foul from Jalsor Soriano. Are we going to see a yellow card? And that is unfortunately the case for the tank.
The first one in this match. See that again. High boot to the knee. I think that wasn't necessary in this case. He was never getting the ball. He was not going after the ball, it seems like.
Do you say that was desperation to get the stop at all costs?
Unfortunately, that foul will give the Bosco Garelli another chance nearer their goal, considering their players are much bigger, physically taller, you're basically giving them a clear chance here.
And if this result sticks, when you talk about the exact number of goals, and Garelli's goal difference from -50 will go to -44. Philippine Army will remain at the bottom of the standings. If you are Garelli, you want to cement that number 8 spot. Because the team above at number 7, Maharlika, do have enough clearance already to secure that 7th spot. As nice shot was well on target. Some venom would have challenged Mark Anthony Bedia, who has fantastic reflexes, I will also say, but it has not been his day. Guy once more shoots and scores. Makes it 8-1. Gets the goal off the bench.
As expected for us, subbing Solomon Okereke for another goal scorer, Desmond Ngay. Siguro sinabi niya paglabas, no, pagpalit nila, di ko papalampasin to, dadagdagan ko yung goal tally ko. And again, this is from the defensive mistake
That's been the
of
trend,
Philippine
right?
Army. Don Bosco Garelli pouncing on those missed passes. Desmond Ngay had all the time and space to take that shot comfortably, tallying his first goal in this match.
Take a look at this one with our Quad Vision replay, brought to you by Upstream Sports TV. And Ngay is our 4th goal scorer for Garelli in this afternoon. And this is effectively Garelli's biggest winning margin if they can at least get to stick. Knowing Coach Carl Claudio, they want more, of course. Gusto nila makabawi sa goal difference, syempre. And this is the professional level. Teams show respect to one another by continuing to give their all, regardless of the situation or what's on the scoreboard.
And if you're on the Philippine Army side, pride will dictate that you wouldn't let this happen. And kita natin sa kanila, they are trying to do their best to claw their way back. They're still on the attack or trying to brew something up. Unfortunately, they are late to their marks. Their pass is not connecting quite beautifully here.
And let's just look back again. Philippine Army did bag 2 draws in this season, their lone points to date. And there was a 2-2 result with Toloy FC last February 25. As the physicality is definitely getting overboard here. It's De Guzman needing help from the looks of it.
As the shadows touch near the other side of this field, tumataas din yung init, tumataas din yung mga siko natin dito. And even in the second half, a lot of collisions has been happening on the right side of the pitch, more on the defensive side of Philippine Army. This is something that we've been observing ever since the restart in the second half.
That's not good though. They had to bring out the ice. Dito para kay Mark De Guzman. A going back with Army again. They got to bag a draw versus Toloy last February. A 1-1 draw with Maharlika last March 7. And that is a result that Maharlika looks back at because they were pushed down to number 7 again. And have to play in the consolation round, which will eventually carry on after all teams here get to play 20 matchups each. So Army did get to play spoiler once, but there's more to just derailing your opponent's bid in the season, whether it be a mid-table team or a championship caliber team. You want to get those W's left and right also. But unfortunately, it's been a difficult afternoon for the Troopers.
We see even in international leagues, minsan yung mga nasa top pa ng table, the only losses or draws that they have are those coming from those on the bottom side of, or on the other side of the league table. So anything can happen in football, but in this case, Don Bosco Garelli's enjoying their comfortable lead with an 8-1 scoreline, 68 minutes in this match.
Just going back also, obviously, we couldn't miss it. The Garelli started out strong, getting a goal in the first 2 minutes or so. They also got to do that against Cebu, which was a few weeks back. As it's a chance again, outside the goalkeeper box. Almost a screamer. The follow-up is a home run that goes to the baseball stadium. Now, looks like I spoke too soon. Just to the grandstand here of the Rizal Memorial Stadium.
Great shot by Kai Kimura. Took his touch, opened the space for him. But what a save here by Mark Anthony Bedia. Stretching it. Fingertip save. Could have been a beautiful goal for Don Bosco Garelli, but denied by the goalkeeper.
Chances have definitely been aplenty in this game. Most of them going to Garelli, and they've been able to put them away. Casing. Secured by Palacio. Sapal. He'll give it wide. Belgira. A promising spell now with the ball. They look to manufacture a scoring chance. In this instance, the Troopers are keeping Garelli on their toes.
This is the clearest possession they've had in the match. Just not connecting in that final pass, but considering the first 70 minutes of this match, ito yung pinakamagandang passing nila from the defense to the midfield up until the attacking third.
Kai Kimura was able to come up with that crucial clearance. It's with Kai now. Ngai. He also has experience in Vietnam to add to Cameroon, where he is from. Stoko. But Mark Bedia was definitely the favorite to get that. About 20 minutes remaining right here until this result will be put into stone. It is 8-1 for Garelli. They are still looking to add more on the board. Okereke leads the way with 4 goals. Yamaguchi with 2. Abarca with 1 of his own. Those were your first half goal scorers. And they were also able to get 1 more with Desmond Ngai. They blow by the D, and it becomes number 9 now. It's Kimura getting 1 for the road.
Barca has been very busy on that left side. A lot of the attacks coming from his persistence.
Not the first time he's assisted in this game, Jed.
Great pass. Kai Kimura was in the perfect place. Slotted it right past Bedia. Gets his goal, and even in the last match, he was the hat-trick hero. So it's becoming a habit of his to score every match. This becomes the biggest scoreline win for Don Bosco Garelli.
We were pretty much in the early stages of the second half where they already got to match the 7-1 win of Garelli over Philippine Army. Unfortunately for the Troopers, it has become 9-1. A total of 10 goals in this game. But we were talking about this also earlier, even in the pre-game. We also mentioned it earlier. So we have 11 teams here in your 25-26 Philippines Football League season. Everyone will get to play each other twice. After that, the top 6 will be put in their own group, but the results will carry over. Teams 7 through 11, the bottom 5, will also be put in their own group, which is the consolation round. They will figure in an additional single round robin. So that's an extra opportunity for teams to get extra points. But when you do the math, with Maharlika settling for number 7, they are going to top the consolation round. So if you're Garelli, you can finish second best in the consolation round, which is good for 8th place. For most of the season, they were actually at number 9. Garelli were able to get their guns blazing. And Toloy, unfortunately, lost form. Hence, it's the Grey Wolves now who are in lucky number 8.
It's remarkable to see how Don Bosco Garelli has regrouped and is slowly getting their form up. Siguro nakita nila yung tamang connection with the people, the chemistry of putting certain people in certain places. You know, the defense, the midfields, and even the strikers being impact players all the way to their subs. Kahit sinong ilagay nila sa first 11 or coming off the bench, they have been showing great quality. And hopefully this will continue up until the next phase of the Philippines Football League or even in the next season. It will be exciting to see how their growth will bear fruit in the next.
The only way is up for Philippine football, of course. But when you talk about the championship round or where the top 6 teams will square off, after that, the champion will get to play in the AFC Champions League 2 qualifying playoff and in the Shopee Cup as the representatives of the Philippines. Right now, it's Tigig who's ranked number 1. They will be playing later on with Stallion Laguna after this one. As we speak, Manila Diggers sit in number 2. Should they bag second spot, they are going to take part in the AFC Challenge League qualifying playoff. Just for the record, of course, who represented the Philippines in the AFC this season thanks to the results in the last PFL tournament, or the previous edition of the PFL, Kaya FC Iloilo. They were your champions. They played in the Champions League 2. Slot allocation last year was a lot different, as Guy couldn't slip this one past the near post. Manila Digger actually did play in the Champions League 2 qualifying playoff. They lost. They were relegated to the Challenge League, which is the 3rd tier of AFC club football. And they made it all the way to the semifinals. Unfortunately, they fell to Precanrich Sway Ring of Cambodia, which featured former PFL players Rio Fuji and Takashi Odawara. You just love how the cookie crumbles right here. The way you have your local teams representing Philippine football. Cebu won the final series last year. That is why they got to play in the Shopee Cup. Here's a defensive header by Gumban. Kasing trying to escape the Saturday traffic. Palacio under resistance from Kai Kimura. Army will have to be careful here because they were exploited a great number of times while trying to build up from the back.
this time. Philippine Army finds their way out. Transitions on the right side.
Going back, we also got to break down how AFC slots were distributed last season. It's not just about winning the league, as we know, Jed, because there are massive incentives when you get to play on the continental level, which is the Asian Football Confederation dito para sa Pilipinas.
So placement dito sa Philippines Football League is very important. So every point counts, as we say, all the way from the top of the table to the last.
Actually, halos dikit din yung 1 Tigig and Manila Digger when you look at the goal difference. Plus 78 for Tigig, 79 for Digger. I have yet to factor in Digger's live result with Cebu right now. Here's Mahinay. He's been able to create a lot of chances with those long balls. Even the short tug could not stop Ngay. Steps on the brakes. That would have been a highlight without a doubt if he got to connect, but he couldn't find the far post. Here's another change with Eugene Ariola entering. Some Battle of the East flavor here with the former FEU Tamarao coming in for a former UE Red Warrior.
Stepping off is Jerome Abarca with 1 goal and a couple of assists. Did a great job on the left side. He does deserve the rest and the applause that comes with it.
But how do you bounce back from a result like this, Jed, if you are Army and if you are Garelli? Can you say there's pressure because you have to sustain the momentum? You do not want to drop the ball.
If you're part of the Philippine Army team right now, mentality has a lot to do with how you take the result or how you continue playing the game, because coming down, being down from at 9-1 on an ongoing game, you have to show puso. Dapat you're still in the game. You don't give up easily, and this is what they have been showing with their attacks in the past few minutes, just like this one here.
And Kasing finding the near post. Shotaro Ishii had that quadrant covered. But if you're Ishii, if you're Mahinay on defense, you're also Katarinin, you're Sims, Bangi, you want that clean sheet. You have to be gutted, if I'm trying to put myself in their shoes, of course, because they would have liked to walk away with a clean sheet to add to the victory, which is always the icing or the cherry on top.
An added win. Kumbaga sa kanila, they did their job kung walang goals. Lalo na, well, of course, kung nanalo kayo, you did your job. But if no goals come past you, it means that you did your job really well.
Shotaro Ishii got to deny Renz Gumban. And we have an interesting stat from our colleague PFL Bible. He said Garelli now scored more goals than Maharlika in the second round in as many as Aguilas. And the bulk of the goals from Garelli coming from this game, of course, but quite a stat to justify what we were talking about with the improved play of Garelli. And as much as these teams play to win, Garelli actually figured in losses where the scoreline was much, much more respectable than what they were dealt in the start of the season or in the first round.
And this is something that the Philippine Army could emulate, actually, or copy. Paano mag-bounce back if in the first round, for example, ang dami niyong talo, things were not going according to plan? How do you reorganize? How do you turn this sad reality into the blissful victory that Don Bosco Garelli has been experiencing the past 2 games? Considering if this if we cement the scoreline in this match.
And Fun Rush in the comment section made a good pun here. Oforeke for Solomon Nokireke's 4-goal performance. As we have a series of changes, let's see if they will be executed before this free kick that was given, or will it be later on? You have Carl Viray who will come in. It will be a goalkeeper change for the Troopers. Legend Boogie Margarce will also enter along with Johnny Toledo. Taken by Bedia, trying to set up a teammate. But I reckon still a stable performance for Shotaro Ishii, the goalkeeper of Garelli, as much as they let in one.
Dami din niyang saves kanina. Beautiful saves, fingertip saves. Some pushing the shots to the post. We're anticipating 4 changes in the match. 3 coming from the Philippine Army side. And another for Don Bosco Garelli.
Here we go. We're just going to confirm who will be stepping off the pitch. But yeah, Margarce, Toledo, and Viray coming in. Mark Anthony Bedia will call it a day after a difficult 80 minutes. But he gave his all also. Mark Anthony Bedia's cousin Roy Kent will also call it a day. Kai Kimura stepped off for Michael Brobe also. There you go. You got to confirm that triple change on your screen. Here's the change for Garelli. This is Clara Manzano alongside Che Diamante. It is Don Bosco Garelli United leading 9-1. And we'd like to remind you that Sports Tribe is the official match ball of the Philippines Football League. And while you are at it, continue to like, share, and subscribe when you talk about PFL's social media pages. To be exact, you are joining us in the live stream on our YouTube channel. Continue to hit that subscribe button again. The numbers, of course, have been going up on our YouTube page, we will say, and a big shout out to our growing Philippine football community.
Sana patuloy lang yan, no, as more of homegrown players also play in the Philippines Football League, showing how the quality of local players have been improving and getting this level of football.
There's nonetheless a busy calendar for the Philippine men's national team also in this year. The PMNFT wrapped up Asian Cup qualifiers, but unfortunately did not seal qualification. But you have the AFF Hyundai Cup, which is the Asian Men's Championship. And the Philippines did get to make it to the semifinals, when you remember back in 2024. There is also going to be the inaugural FIFA ASEAN Cup. I did see in the news that FIFA did invite the different member nations of the AFF to take part in a meeting in Canada. I reckon that meeting is going to be over in North America, because the World Cup will be taking place also in June. It will be hosted by Mexico, Canada, and the United States.
Exciting times for football, both locally and internationally.
Last but not the least, you have the Filipinas playing in the World Cup next year. Chance in front, but a sitter was missed. I reckon that was mishit.
Substitute could have added his name to the score sheet.
And Ishii sends this one well into the bleachers. Oh, it went past and towards the swimming pool. We had one that... Oh, here's Okireke bringing out the dance moves. This is a nightmare for his teammates who are introverts, I will say.
His third or fourth goal rather. Parang napagod na rin siyang sumayaw, kaya binawi na lang niya ngayon. Now
Dito na lang, no?
To recharge after that substitution a while ago.
Buti nga nakabawi siya, kasi kung hindi, magagalit yung mga kaibigan niya. Oh, why didn't you dance after you scored? I'm sure he would have said he was tired or he ran out of dance moves. Pati, mag-ingat ka, pati ako nadamay na.
Ito si Claro kanina, pag goal pa lang, parang nilalabas na rin yung moves niya eh.
But Philippine Army unable to find another goal right here. That one was definitely well out, even if you classify that as a connection. We are in crunch time already when you talk about the Philippines Football League season again. Our teams in the bottom half of the standings still have something to play for. That consolation round again. It's more than a consolation round. That's an opportunity to get maximum points in limited games. As tensions continue to rise here. Just one yellow card in this game.
Considering the physicality throughout the whole match, it's incredible how Jesus Abogado has kept it at one yellow card.
Offside is the call here, though. In another wave for the Troopers. To get another goal. Johnny Toledo into Stallion. He was actually able to make it to Stallion's AFC roster. It was Stallion's lone appearance on the continental stage for men's football. Stallion Laguna's women's team actually did make it to the quarterfinals of the AFC Women's Champions League. It's the farthest any Filipino team has gone, actually. They fell to Tokyo very unfortunately, though. The knockout stage. Still a great run also from Stallion's women's team. Similar to how Manila Digger made it to the semifinals of the AFC Challenge League. It's stolen once more. Ngai, Lord inside, calls for a penalty. No interest from our referee, Jesus Abogado. Less than 3 minutes remaining until stoppage time. Everything set except for the final score. Belkira. Sapal just could not get the connection in the midfield.
Really very comfortable holding the ball in the last minutes of this match.
And they have activated cruise control now, of course. You can't blame them. It's understandable given the circumstances. One of our friends did say, Okereke by far is the highlight of the PFL. By the way, he had to dance a number of times.
Definitely something that everyone expects or looks out for whenever Okereke plays.
I just wanted to add, of course, not for anything against Okereke, with an introvert being forced to dance if he scores. I'm talking about his teammates. Siyempre walang problema dyan sa mga magaling sumayaw din sa koponan nila.
Baka ma-discover pa after ng football career, that's something else waiting for them. Kung makitaan ng dance moves.
We'll see you on Lunchtime TV here in the Philippines. There's actually a video, I think Garelli's team posted it, where a number of them were dancing during training. Just a light moment before they got their work in.
You know, things like these can gel a team.
Team building, di ba?
Team building. You've been mentioning that ever since the start of this match. And if you have these small actions or activities that you guys enjoy doing together, those small moments actually builds the chemistry of the team. Nakaka-apekto siya.
4 minutes of stoppage time, as it is confirmed by Chris Mel Cayabyab, our fourth official. They are nearing the halftime break over at the dynamic Borromeo Sports Complex. Manila Digger leads Cebu 1-0. Stocco. It was a quality ball as much as Ngai was flagged offside. Here's Carl Viray. He came in again for Mark Anthony Bedia in about the 80th minute, or the 81st to be more precise. On the shirt pulling there. To still with Renz Gumban, Soriano.
Gumban now playing a more central role. Pulling in from the right wing.
Unfortunately, also, Jalsor Soriano was not able to be his usual self as the tank for them on defense. But of course, with the individual performances of Army, there's plenty of things that they can look forward to. It's just about consistency, getting to string these individual performances together. And hopefully, come next game, you're able to bounce back, of course.
There's no doubt about the quality of players individually. It's just that ano kaya sila maglaro para all these individual positive notes from each player can contribute to better game for the team. So far in this 19 games in this season for the Philippine Army, they have yet to find the answer to those questions.
The way it's been tough, of course, they would have liked to take a draw at the least because that's where they've been able to get their points as of late. The Troopers in 19 games. Already when you 19 games, even when you include this one. 2 draws to go with 17 losses. Garelli will improve to 5 wins and 15 losses. No draws right here for the Grey Wolves.
All of their wins coming from the second round of this season, if I'm not mistaken, within the last, including this, the last 7 games.
I wouldn't be surprised, of course, with the way they've been able to up their game. A little over a minute remaining. Thank you for tuning in on the Philippines Football League's YouTube page. Do make sure to subscribe. Also follow us on the likes of Facebook and Instagram while you are at it. Manzano here alongside the former DLSU captain Jed Chamante. Sports Tribe is our official match ball right here in the PFL. We also have our Wednesday fixtures actually right here for the Philippines Football League. So do check out our page again on social media. The social media team actually right here, the PFL, has been able to come up with so many creative ways also to highlight the players who have excelled on the pitch. There's also that entertainment factor, you could say, as part of promoting the game further.
Just have to check social media pages of the Philippines Football League, see what Claro means here.
Ayoko ibigay eh. Do make sure to search, of course.
Sila, hanapin na nila para,
Exactly.
yeah.
Bawal spoilers dito.
Those are the hopefully organic ways to connect with the fans of the Philippines Football League. We are a growing football scene here in the Philippines.
And that is eventually the full-time whistle right here at the Rizal Memorial Stadium. It is a commanding 9-1 result for Don Bosco Garelli United over the Philippine Army FC Troopers. Just a long list of goal scorers, as we know, Jed, but Okereke led the way with 4 goals. Yamaguchi a brace. Abarca, Ngay, and Kimura also added goals of their own. And tanan nga natin, Jerome Abarca also gave some massive assists for them. Here, Napolitano got what proved to be a consolation, where they got to spoil the clean sheet bid of Shotaro Ishii and center back Pancho Mahinay to go with the rest of their crew, Romel Catarinin, Michael Sims, Renato Pangi. But still, massive here for Garelli.
9 goals to 1. Ang init ng laro, pero physically, even with the weather, sobrang init kanina, but towards the end of the second half, uminit naman yung laro in terms of physicality, but that didn't stop Don Bosco Garelli to slot in 9 goals against the Philippine Army, who got 1. But also, Philippine Army were not short of their chances. They hit the woodwork 2 or 3 times, missed the penalty in the first half. But Don Bosco Garelli was just taking advantage of all those mistakes in the defense. More than half of their goals coming from missed passes and interceptions from Yamaguchi and Kai Kimura also found themselves in the score sheet.
It would have been a different story if the Troopers were able to mount a solid start with defense also being that cornerstone of theirs. And there's also a bit of that bad luck or breaks of the game with what you mentioned again. A missed penalty, a safe penalty to be precise. They hit the upright a number of times also. As we have a look at the stats, Jed.
20 shots, 15 on target for Don Bosco Garelli, showing their dominance in attack. While there were 10 shots, 7 on target, no shortage in opportunities for the Philippine Army. We saw only one booking throughout this whole endeavor, kahit na mainit yung laro. But 20 fouls all in all. Kahit na 54-46 yung possession natin, Garelli seemed to have more control of the game from start to finish. Philippine Army not finding their form, leaving too much space for Garelli to operate. This just proves how Garelli has been improving so far in their season. Tuloy-tuloy ba ang kanilang momentum dito sa Philippines Football League?
Or the question is, for Army, will they be able to get their bounce back? But that does it right here. This is Claudio Manzano alongside Jed Jamati. It ends 9 for Garelli and 1 for Philippine Army. We'll sign up, but we are going to take it to the ground with our man of the match. And as we always say, we are PFL.
Congratulations on the result. What do you think went well during the game?
The game? Today's goal is win, just win. So I want a clean sheet, but not perfect. But no buts. I think no but. Good performance game, good performance everyone, and hard work Armies also. I think so good games. Very happy. So. I'm so happy play football today.
What's your message for the fans?
Garelli this season is no good, no perfect season. This where result is 8, rank 8 is. I'm not. I think more. I wanna more up. Stand in the PFL. We can do it. I think I believe we can do it more. But this is the real. I have to understand this real. Prepare next stage. For next season. I see. Thank you.
That's your message for the fans.
Thanks so much, El to Garelli. See you next time in the pitch. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.